He was cuffed in front of his children. They cried and screamed as strangers recorded. When the truth came out, everything changed. This story shows how one father turned pain into action and gave his children a lesson in strength. Marcus Reed left his driveway early with his 2 children. He was a tall black man in his late 30s. He wore a plain hoodie, jeans, and sneakers. He drove a black SUV. He worked long hours as a defense attorney. He rarely had a free weekend, so this day mattered to him. His kids, Ava and Jordan, were excited. They were 8 and 10. They loved spending time with him. He promised them breakfast, then the park, then the zoo. It was a simple plan, but to them it was gold. Marcus had a steady career. He argued cases in court, often against police misconduct. He had won lawsuits that cost apartments millions. He kept that part of his life away from his children. To them, he was dad, not a courtroom fighter. They sang along to the radio as he drove. He glanced at them in the mirror, smiling. He had no idea the day would scar them. Marcus turned into a gas station to grab drinks. The kids stayed in the car. He walked inside, paid for water, and came out. That was when a patrol car pulled up fast. 2 white officers stepped out. Their hands went straight to their weapons. "Put your hands up," one shouted. Marcus froze. He looked down at the drinks in his hand, then back at them. "What's the problem, officers?" he asked calmly. "You fit the description of a robbery suspect." The taller one barked. Ava and Jordan pressed their faces against the window. They saw their father drop the bottles on the ground and raise his hands. One officer rushed forward, forced Marcus against the hood of the SUV, and cuffed him hard. The kids screamed from inside the car. "Daddy!" Jordan yelled. "Stay inside," Marcus told them. His voice was steady, but his eyes burned with fear for them. Bystanders began pulling out phones. Some whispered, some recorded. The officers shoved Marcus down onto his knees. They spoke into their radios, calling for backup. Ava cried. She hit the window with her hands. "Why are they taking him?" "He didn't do anything," she shouted. Jordan tried to open the door, but Marcus yelled again. "Stay inside." The children shook. They had never seen their father powerless. He was the man who defended them, the man who always had answers. Now he was on the ground in cuffs. The crowd grew larger. People muttered that it looked like an arrest. Some said, maybe the car was stolen. One woman walked up and said loudly, "Those are his kids." He was in the store for less than 5 minutes. The officers ignored her. Minutes later, another squad car pulled up. A lieutenant stepped out, older, heavier, with gray at his temples. He walked over, looked at Marcus, and frowned. "Name," he demanded. "Marcus Reed." Marcus said through clenched teeth. The lieutenant paused. His face changed. He recognized the name. "You're an attorney," he muttered. "I am," Marcus said, "and this stop is unlawful." The lieutenant turned to the younger officers. "Release him. Now!" The cuffs came off. Marcus stood, rubbing his wrists. His kids jumped out of the SUV and ran to him. He hugged them tightly, whispering that he was fine. The crowd was restless. Someone shouted, "You only let him go because you know who he is." The lieutenant's silence confirmed it. Marcus got his kids back in the car. Their hands trembled. Ava asked, "Daddy, were you to jail?" "No," he said softly. "I wasn't." Jordan asked, "Why did they do that to you?" Marcus had no easy answer. He drove away in silence. His mind raced. His children had seen what so many black children see at some point. Their parent humiliated in public for no reason. That night, Ava refused to sleep. She asked if the police would come again. Jordan asked if they would take him away next time. Marcus sat by their beds, holding their hands, promising them safety. But inside, he knew safety was not guaranteed. The incident spread fast online. Videos recorded by bystanders gained thousands of views. Calls poured into the local department. News outlets asked for statements. Marcus agreed to one interview. He spoke calmly but firmly. "My children watched me handcuffed in broad daylight. I was not a suspect. I was not a criminal. I was a black man in a hoodie. That was enough. This is a reality we live in. The video went viral. Parents wrote to him. Some said their children had witnessed the same. Some said their children now feared police. Marcus decided to use his position not for personal revenge, but for change. He filed a civil rights suit. He also began holding community meetings where families and officers sat in the same room, face to face. He spoke in schools. He told his story in churches. Months passed. Ava and Jordan slowly regained confidence. They still remembered the fear, but they also saw their father fighting back with dignity. At school, Ava wrote an essay about what happened. Her teacher read it aloud. Her classmates listened, stunned. Jordan gave a short speech in his social studies class about fairness and justice. They were learning strength through pain. Marcus told them, "You are not defined by fear. You are defined by how you respond." 1 year later, Marcus was invited to testify before Congress on racial profiling. He stood in front of lawmakers, cameras, and activists. He wore a plain dark suit. He spoke clearly. "My children watch me cuffed like a criminal in public. They learned the truth too early. They learned their father's skin color made him a target. No family should face this. Change must happen through training, through accountability, and through transparency." His words were quoted nationwide. Some praised him, some criticized him, but his voice had weight. One summer evening, Marcus drove Ava and Jordan past the same gas station. They grew quiet as they saw it. "Do you remember what happened there?" he asked. They nodded. "Do you see what we did after it?" he asked. Ava said softly, "You made people listen." Jordan added, "You made them change." Marcus smiled. "No, we made them change. You gave me the reason. I gave the world the words." The children smiled back. For the first time, the memory did not feel like fear. It felt like strength. Racism strips dignity. But dignity can be rebuilt through action. The cuffs were temporary. The lesson was permanent. Children learn not only from what happens to their parents, but from how their parents respond. Marcus turned humiliation into progress. That is the truth his children carried forward. Subscribe for more real stories told with honesty. Hit the bell so you never miss a story that matters.